I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
You want answers?
You have offended my family.
I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth.
And you have offended Shaolin Temple.
You can't handle the truth.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Radical Rant.
All right, everybody, 50 after the hour, time for a little radical ranting. And yesterday on the new, Southern California Public Broadcasting Station, this was on KPCC 89.3 FM, Southern California Public Radio. It was a call-in show. They were having a debate between James Rigdon, the field director of Yes on Prop 19, and Kim Rainey, the police chief for the city of Covina, California, the pro and con positions on Prop 19. But it also allowed for call-ins, and during the show, there was a call-in from the head of MediCann. Now, MediCann is a large clinic operation with multiple outlets in California that writes out the permission slips that people get so that they can use medical marijuana. And I just wanted to give everyone a chance to hear the person from MediCann talking about this. I'm going to pull up the audio here. This is the MediCann owner calling in against Prop 19 in California.
Actually, this is Dr. Talleyrand, Jean Talleyrand. I represent 200,000 patients throughout the state of California. Our company's name is MediCann. And we are not dispensers of marijuana. We are medical marijuana evaluators. We're doctors who talk to patients, real patients, who are suffering and need this medicine. And in my opinion, unfortunately, I have to agree with the chief and say no on Prop 19, but not for the same reasons. I think there's much debate that needs to happen, and I do have disagreements with many of the chiefs.
Well, okay, give us your top reason why you think Prop 19 is wrong.
It ignores our patients, basically. It's ignored our patients. We have a law regarding our patients, and this law that's trying to generate revenue confuses law enforcement, as you hear from Chief right now, and it confuses the issue of the real patients who are using it and needing it to reduce their pharmaceutical.
Well, so I don't understand confusing what the problem is. I mean, obviously, you have an economic interest in keeping the medical marijuana system as the one that's going because that's how the docs who are part of your group are getting paid. So I don't know, what is the issue of confusion? How does that mean that patients wouldn't have access to marijuana?
Well, actually, our company's interests are to provide integrative and holistic medicine. So we do more than just provide medical marijuana evaluations. But what the problem is with taxing marijuana is that our sick patients now have an additional load to bear. They now will be funding California's economic collapse.
Well, except that the retail price is supposed to go down because of the easier availability, more people can grow it. So the product itself is supposed to get cheaper. Yes, there'll be taxes on it, but wouldn't it make the overall cost less expensive for your patients?
Well, I think there was an earlier point where it said that the use would not go down. The use would be about the same. If the use is about the same, I don't see where the availability and the price would go down. The way the proposition is set up, it would let the counties decide who would have the right to grow marijuana in their county. And most counties in California would not want to do this. It would leave few counties developing grows for most of the state. It would make few people wealthy and
but not bring down the price. Okay, thank you very much, Jean. Appreciate your call.
There's a crisis in California.
Actually, this is Dr. Talleyrand, Jean Talleyrand. I represent 200,000 patients throughout the state of California. Our company's name is MediCann, and we are not dispensers of marijuana. We are medical marijuana evaluators.
Clinics like MediCann that write permission slips to use marijuana could join California's unemployed on November 2nd. California's Prop 19 would mean you could grow, possess, share, and even buy cannabis to treat your ailments without medical permission slips. Do you really think you can manage your own herbal health care without a $150 doctor's note? If you vote yes on 19, it means no tickets, no permission slips, and no MediCann. You wouldn't want that, would you?
Yeah, that's MediCann and our new PSA, because you know what? I'm not forgetting, people. All of you out there that are making money on marijuana and using that money and that influence and that position to campaign to keep me a criminal, I got a long memory, and we will be posting MediCann and Lynette Davies and the Unity Collective and Dragonfly De La Luz and J. Craig Canada. I'm keeping track of all of you because it is my goal to make sure none of you make any money from marijuana after Prop 19 passes. There needs to be a price for being a traitor. They want to call this a war on drugs, then the war is against them, the prohibitionists, the one that want to keep throwing us in jail. And if you're on our side, you cannot be stabbing us in the back by trying to get young and naive voters to vote against everyone's best self-interests here. And furthermore, the arguments that the man made with regard to marijuana, the MediCann guy, are just absurd on their face. He says that the demand would stay the same, but the supply would increase, so the price wouldn't go down. A complete fallacy, a complete misunderstanding of the laws of supply and demand. If there's going to be more marijuana and more people growing marijuana and the same people being supplied the marijuana, the prices have to come down. But that's not what he's really afraid of. He is afraid of losing his little meal ticket of $150 to get a permission slip. And this is a different situation than what we see in other medical marijuana states. We've got states in Oregon, Washington, all over the country where there's a serious medical records review, where the conditions to be able to qualify for medical marijuana are very strict. And so you can justify paying someone their time to have to go through medical records and making sure they get the copies and the faxes and they're complying with the law and they're seeing the doctor for the recommended amount of time. But that's not the situation in California. I called MediCann before we came on the air of the show today, and I asked them, hey, I'm from Portland, Oregon, but I'm going to be moving down to Northern California. I just need to know, what kind of records do I need to bring? What kind of records, and what's it going to cost me? And she says, well, you're just going to need your California identification and your proof of residency. That's it. Basically, California residency, and $150. See, because the condition I would be qualifying for is overloaded wallet syndrome. Now, I don't have a problem with people getting medical marijuana cards, Prop 215 recommendations in California. You know, more power to you. And if you want to say it's for anxiety or for drowsiness or, constipation, whatever you want to claim, I'm cool with that because I think everybody should be able to use marijuana. And if you want to pay $150 for that permission slip, that's cool. But don't vote against me not having to have a permission slip. And of course, I always have to issue the standard disclaimer here that we are not talking about the severely sick and disabled people who need medical marijuana to live. Again, that is an issue that is different in the other 13 medical states as compared to California. In California, as we all know, it is very easy to get a medical marijuana card. So what we're essentially talking about here is maintaining businesses and doctors to act as gatekeepers to give us our permission slips so that we can use the marijuana that should just be our right. If we've got the right to use the marijuana, we do not need to have the permission slip. So businesses like MediCann and the Unity Collective and people that write articles for magazines traveling the world smoking the best ganja and writing about it, they need to be out of a job after November 2nd. They need to pay the price for their treachery, for going against the movement of legalization that we have all been fighting for over 40 years. 20 million Americans have been arrested on marijuana laws, and the first best step we can take right now to end that is passing Prop 19. Is Prop 19 perfect? No. No bill is perfect. No law is perfect. When you write these things, you can't write them for us. We're going to vote for them. You have to write them for the soccer moms. You have to write them for the religious conservatives. You've got to write them for the old folks that are naturally going to be opposed to granting us our rights. Change comes incrementally in this country, and I'm sorry that breaks some people's hearts, but it is the truth. Vote yes on Prop 19, and remember the people that told you to vote no and hold them accountable. I'm Radical Russ. Thanks for joining us for the Radical Rant and for Normal Show Live. We are on every weekday, Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Pacific Time live, and at 2 o'clock Pacific live with Toker Talk Radio. Your call-ins, your opinions. For Cannabis Carrie and Ganja John, I'm Radical Russ. Until next time, take care of each other, Tokers.
This is Normal Show Live, the voice of the marijuana nation.
Take it on one more time. You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it. You take a seed, you plant